Hi, I'm Alexi Old. Welcome to If I Did It, a show where we analyze and solve PR kerfuffles from the MMA world and beyond. Joining us as always is Kid Native Bloody Elbow and Eugene S. Robinson of Aussie.com and author of Fight, Everything Everyone Knows About Ass Kicking, but we're afraid to get your ass kicked for asking. Now,
Nice.
we had some breaking news that created quite the kerfuffle. I'm going to go with you, Eugene.
All right.
You're the UFC. In the wake of middleweight challenger Chris Weidman's withdrawal from UFC 199, walk us through the PR pros and cons presented by a new contender versus a new card for the middleweight title match.
Oh man. First of all, I want you to listen to something. You ready?
Yeah.
You know what that is?
Sweet nothings.
That's what Chris Weidman sees swirling around his woodpile. And it's the mist. It's the mist of, well, we'll talk about that later, what it's the mist of. But at this point now, if you are a middleweight and your management is worth a good goddamn, you've already made that call, because it is, you are primed to make of him, yesterday's fighter. You asked me yesterday, contender, new card, and I'm gonna go like, look, everybody knows it for what it is, which would be a band-aid, to try to save the card. There's hold it, fold it. At this point, you got to anoint somebody else because, honestly, like I said on Knuckle Up this week, why so quiet, Matty Serra? Why so quiet, Ray Longo? You know something that we don't know, and what you know is that the party's over. Party is over. You missed or a swirl. Get yourself a new contender and build it up. The other option is to force Jacare, he didn't have that challenging of a fight. Jacare is ready and raring to go, or to do some other catch-as-catch-can thing, and that. Everybody knows that for what it is. Nobody would fault you for saying, let's move on. If I'm Luke Rockhold, and I guarantee you, having just broke Brendan Hester, who was supposed to fight, friend of Knuckle Up, was supposed to fight this Bellator, broke his nose. I go, hey, man, who are you sparring with? He goes, Rockhold. I was like, that's on you then. But I guarantee you that Rockhold is not 100% healthy either. Give him time. Give him the same amount of time that Nate Diaz is now taking, to top off what he needs to top off to do the same thing to McGee again. I mean, I've never been a big fan of save the fight. Whatever, man. Whatever,
So a new challenger, but on a new card.
Correct.
What do you do with UFC 199 then, genius?
Scratch it. Fuck it.
We still have cruising favorites in California, so if you're looking for some California connection.
Put it on free TV and be done. I mean, at this point now, can you honestly make the claim that it's for anybody but us?
The hardcores.
Yeah, it was barely that to begin with. I mean, Luke Rockhold as a movie star, good looks, and he's actually been up in his smack talk a little bit. But realistically, it was just for us, right?
Michael Bisping's ready to go. He'll ramp up the shit talk.
Bisping is the only one. Bisping is the only one that it would make sense. I don't know.
That's what we're gonna get. Book it.
Bisping makes sense because Bisping. Where else is he gonna go? What's he gonna do if he loses? Which I think is a high possibility. At least he lost. He went out on this fucking shield. It's the best. It's the best he's gonna get.
Well, it's also like a Nate Diaz scenario, right? Where you have someone like you just mentioned it, the Nate brothers, right?
Yep.
Is you already have a guy who knows how to get interest. People are already basically, he knows how to drum interest. He has more mainstream support, I would think, or mainstream visibility, Bisping, than any of the other guys they can throw in there. So like, why not just say, you know what? What do you think, Nate?
I think it's going to be Bisping. I mean, I think the UFC's. They've been in this spot before. I don't think they want to give up the pay-per-view. If they're trying to sell some or all of the organization right now, they don't need a prospective partner, a prospective buyer seeing, oh shit, you can lose, X amount of projected revenue in a heartbeat. there's plenty of fights to book. Like I said, they could dragoon Jacare into fighting on short notice. I'm sure he'd do it if he's not suspended. I haven't heard anything about him being suspended. He wouldn't be ideal, but he could be ready on short notice. You got Bisping. They could rush Anderson Silva right out of the surgery for the
gallbladder. While they put his gallbladder up, the removed gallbladder up against Luke Rockhold.
I think the bigger thing is, do they ever trust Chris Weidman again? Like, he's in Cain Velasquez territory where
which is what I was going to say. You know, to answer that question, you have to have a sense of, do they trust Cain Velasquez now at this point? I would say not.
It remains to be seen. What was his statement, Alexi?
He had mentioned that he'd always had neck problems, but they'd go away. And then there was the one time recently where it wasn't going away, and he was experiencing vertigo. Like when all the things he's describing, like, is this stress-based or, you know? Yeah. So then he goes to see a doctor. He gets epidural. It's like, I don't want surgery. So we might need surgery. And then the epidural doesn't work. He's still having the pain, no improvement. He sees another doctor. They're like, we need to fuse your spine, or we need to remove something. He's like, great. So I'm rip-roaring and ready to go for November in New York. Yeah, you know, all signs are pointing to that. You know, sorry, fans. Sorry, Luke. But God works in mysterious ways. This is God's plan. He capitalized God. It was the only thing he capitalized. And I'm ready for New York in November.
You know what God was doing?
Something else.
God was doing like this.
Yeah, God's pretty busy worrying about these transsexuals in the bathrooms. And,
transgender.
Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah,
sorry.
Transgender people in the bathroom. No, I mean, come on. Honest to God, did none of you see this happening? Did none of you feel that this was going to happen? I think intuitively, I intuited the fact that this was going to fucking happen. I felt it in my fucking bones. I was watching them at the press conference, and I just had that feeling. And it was for me, a matter of time. Like, you know,
but you thought it was lost, though. That's the thing. That's what's fascinating, right? The assumption was this is an impending, a loss that was coming, and no faith in his performance in the fight. Not that he was not going to show up.
No.
Right? I was baffled by the booking in the first place. Like, who wanted to see this? Weidman took a beating and looked overmatched against Rockhold. Like, let's see him, you know, get some wins, get some momentum back. Then he can have a rematch.
Yeah.
But as is, it was just baffling.
Everybody's seen that Clint Eastwood movie where the guy gets beaten up and then he woodsheds in a barn somewhere. He works himself back up and he puts the metal chest plate on and he starts practicing with his guns and then he makes his big return. That's what's got to fucking happen. An immediate rematch. What the fuck was he going to learn in 3-4 months since the last fight?
Anything? What about his woodpile?
I mean, look at Honda. Look at Honda. You know, they say, we're going to fight in 2000. Look, you know what? If your ultimate plan is to stay in the game and your ultimate plan ultimately sees you fighting somebody like a Cyborg or a Holly Holmes, you better be fucking working. What do you think Mystic Mac is doing? You know, he's talking all this monkey show. The monkey show of, I'm going to box. Don't be fucking fooled for a second. That's complete and total fucking garbage. Even if it happens, it's like Ronda appearing at WWE. It's a bullshit. It's like diplomacy. It's saying nice doggy till you can get your hand on the rock. McGee is going for the fucking rock. These guys need time. I didn't know that. I mean, there are times when a guy can cancel a fight where you know it's fucking legit. Like 100% legit, no question. And that's like, if it's super close to the fight and the guy is canceling the fight, that's super legit because that guy's been telling his team, I'm fine. And the team finally pushes it and says, I see you limping on the mat. I see you favoring that side. I'm going to send you to an orthopedic guy. I want a clear-cut determination. And then that's like a week before the show, the guy's like, fuck, man, I can't do it. That's legit. You know, anything else, I'm got real serious concerns about the legitimacy. Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying that he's consciously sitting around going, fuck, man, I'm not ready. I'm just saying, man, the mind works in strangely subconscious, unconscious ways. And, you know, your body says fuck you in an interesting way. I got tingling in my fingers. You know, orthopedic, the neurologist said, yeah, we're going to fuse the spine and you do this and that. I go, what? Well, I guess that's okay if it gets me back to 100. He goes, 100? They're going to get you back to 100? Maybe 80. Maybe 80. I got maybe 80 now. I'm not getting surgery. He goes, well, man, your age, you're not going to stretch your way out. Yeah, okay, great. Thanks, but no thanks. The guy started calling me at home. Go forget it. Weidman, if that's the problem, if the problem is spinal fusion or not, he might as well just either retire or keep fighting, because that's not going to be fucking cured. And the fact that he doesn't know that now is something else going on in his head, man.
Thinking about going on in your head, Nate, you fought on UFC 198.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I didn't know that, man. Oh, Nate, man.
It was like the undercard.
Yeah. Hey, Nate, how'd you do with your picks this past weekend?
I don't know. Smart hadn't told me yet.
So
you
anyway,
picked Alves, didn't you?
You know.
Yeah, I guess you lost.
Man, that's another show.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
So Nate was on UFC 198, and John Jones tweeted, quote, "Man, USADA really did a number on some of these guys," end quote. As one of those guys, is it better for your brand to respond or just ignore his trolling?
There is nothing to be gained from coming out and denying the steroid allegations that are not even made to somebody specific. If you want to name specifically, just keep those lips tight, man. If you had a pet habit for many years and the new testing regimes got you looking a little flabby and soft, let that speak for itself, man. I mean, you you didn't see Nate Marquardt piping up about it.
Well, yeah, look. Let me tell you, if you're in John Jones' division, it's time for you to maybe blast back with, "Hey, does USADA did they test for coke, crack, weed?" I'm sorry, I'm confused. Oh, okay, he was talking about steroids. Never mind. I mean,
right.
that's how I'll fire him back
right,
if I'm in his division. But you have to be a straight up hardcore dummy to be not in his position. Go, hey. Nah.
But speaking of Vitor Belfort, I mean, all the pets in the world, all the TRT in the world, nothing would have helped him against Jacare. I mean, the same thing happened to him against Randy Couture back in the day, twice, both times once when he was roided to the gills, obviously, and another time when he was probably on something, and still got taken down and beaten up against the cage. Jacare had the game plan to beat Belfort, any time in his career, executed it, didn't make any difference.
But don't you think it's better for his mind state to say, "Man, if I could have those pills, if I could get those injections, I would have, I could have, I should have," as opposed to, "Damn, I was roided up to the gills and this shit still happened."
I don't know, man. I think he's better off blaming internet porn or talking about Jesus.
or transgender prostitutes, which has been what those of us with a memory to remember. I know that there was this allegation about the hotel room, and I didn't know. I thought that penis was a highly developed clitoris. What do I know? Allegedly. I'm not a rumor monger. This is not TMZ.
Of course not.
Right. So no, I mean the thing is, I got to tell you, the psychomonograph of somebody who's taken steroids, as one who knows, is the former. You got to know, dude sitting at home going, "Man, fuck! If I could have got my my trend stack going, get some trends, some Winstraw, I'd have fucked them up." Yeah, because it's like magic. It's like magic. Uh-oh, it's magic.
Well, something that wasn't magic, Eugene.
Uh-huh.
You're Rodrigo Botti.
Oh, man.
In 2015, you claim Matt Brown, whom you coached, assaulted you after a disagreement.
Uh-huh.
The courts denied you the justice you sought. Mm-hmm. So you allegedly ended up taking it to the streets of Curitiba, Brazil, and getting smoked like a doobie brother. How do you handle the PR blowback?
Now, listen. You need to understand. There's a point at which there are famous jiu-jitsu players whose names I will not mention right now because of what I'm about to say.
Because he's in the room?
Nah, he's not in the room.
He's like,
but okay. So in Brazil, apparently, one guy heard the rumor that some other guy had said something about him. He goes down to the beach with a gun, which means he leaves the school with a handgun. He's in a Speedo with a fucking handgun. I say this because it should be known that he couldn't conceal it. So he's just walking through the streets with a fucking handgun in Rio. He gets to the beach. He's walking by all these people on the beach. Dude sees him. The other high-level jiu-jitsu player fighter sees him and runs into the ocean. You know, discretion is a better part of valor. The guy,
Praying for a Sharknado.
Yeah, the guy runs up to the ocean to chase him, and he starts swimming, and the guy is running down the beach after him. One guy's swimming, the other guy's waving the gun at him. You got to understand, when you're in fucking Rio, when you're in Brazil, Curitiba is a little more sane than Rio. I mean, the bets are off. You got to know. I was surprised it didn't happen. Look at the people who attacked Brown walking into the fucking cage, 3 by my count. Not just stealing the hat off, slapping him in the head, So, dude didn't get justice in the law, and he had in his mind, it was like, no way are you fucking coming to Brazil and you think you're going to get out of here without anything. Look, okay, this guy was fully capable. I don't know if you watched the whole clip. He was fully capable of escaping from this inexpert, choke that the guy put on him. Come on, he's a Brazilian, he's a black. He made no effort to do this. At one point, the guy's just standing there like Tango with one hand draped around his shoulder and the other hand kind of guiding his way, and he's just standing there. Nah, dude was trying to make a point, and the point he tried to make, let the courts work it out. In Brazil, he's now suing Matt Brown in Brazil, right? Now, and I guarantee you, he didn't go from there, according to people that I know in the know, he didn't go from there to any jail cell. We're going to call the cops. We're going to call the cops. I was in Tokyo once and saw a car full of fucking teenagers smash into this African cat who was driving a Mercedes-Benz. Any other place in the world, it's a clear-cut case. Mercedes-Benz, rich guy, teenagers, fucked. The guy gets out. He's speaking fluent Japanese. He's talking to the cop. The cop looks at the African guy, looks at the teenagers, goes to the teenagers, beat it. The African guy is protesting in Japanese. And he just looks at him and goes, you beat it.
Wow.
The bumper was fucking hanging off. It was like, you know what? You want justice? Go to Africa for your fucking justice. It's the same thing. It's like you're in Brazil now, baby. I know. You think you're in a point? Now we're even. And now, you got guys who are Matt Brown haters who are just gonna jump on the nut just to jump on a nut. Why not? Fuck it. Fuck Matt Brown.
So there's nothing that needs to be done then on his part. There's no blowback he has to work. Blowback
a week ago, nobody was talking about him. Now everybody's talking about him. What?
Reopening up the case. What do you think, Nate?
I think as a professional PR advisor, once you have a client who's decided to take the law into their own hands, allegedly, it's time to step back and say, okay, I'm going to let your consigliere handle this. I think it's the time for PR is past.
Time.
I mean, unless you're the kind of PR firm that takes your payments in cash and brown paper bags slipped under a table, there's not a lot to add to the conversation. I mean, in Portuguese, is this money in Portuguese or in English? I don't know.
It's a real.
Yeah, I wouldn't take reals. I'd ask for U.S. greenbacks, no matter what country I was doing business in. But
I'm not talking about pounds or pence. Talking about dollars and cents.
Exactly. LSD. It's not just a drug.
But do you think does UFC have to do anything though in wake of
No.
Here's this, you go to Brazil, your fighters getting smacked on the way to the ring, assaulted at the hotel.
The security at the arena could be improved, but I don't know when the next time they're going back for an arena show in Brazil, so I don't know that they have to worry about that. But this bullshit between Brown and his ex-coach is bullshit between Brown and his ex-coach. That's Brown's problem. Brown created that or helped create that. Takes two to tango. UFC needs to leave that shit alone. I think dude did make his point. I mean, I don't think he expected he was going to go in there and mop the floor with Brown. He knows Brown, and he knows what he can do, and he knows how that fight's going to turn out. But he set up a scenario, and like Eugene said, triggers these repercussions in Brazil. Is Brown going to want to go back to Brazil and deal with this? If he wants to fight again in Brazil, and there's a case active against him, he might have to deal with this. So, it's a tit-for-tat, ugly situation, bad behavior all around. What's you gonna do?
Yeah, it's a wonderful Mike Tyson place. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it? What? And if you think Matt Brown's sitting at home thinking, "Oh my God, this has to be," realistically, most adult males, unless the guy's gonna some smack about your wife or your kids or some, threaten you let that's water off a duck's back,
Well, something that is not quite watery off your back.
I mean, a bigger
It
concern.
involves adults.
I'm sorry. A bigger concern for Matt Brown is what the fuck happened in that fight. Matt Brown's got bigger fish to fucking fry right now, frankly. You know.
Well, when you talk about big fish, Nate, you're Viacom. Porn star James Deen filed a Cal OSHA complaint of bloodborne pathogen violations against you and your property, Bellator MMA. In a press release, he claims to have been cited and fined under the same section violation and, quote, would like to see how someone with more power and deeper pockets is able to influence the enforcement and regulation committees in this state, end quote. What is your PR response, Viacom?
Nothing. I would not dignify this with a response, and if I did, I would do it on the down low, and I would send out clips of all the stories about James Deen being accused of rape. Yep. Like, discredit the messenger, and if you have to do something, talk to the California Athletic Commission and those guys. Make sure you got your I's dotted and your T's crossed and the whole bit. Like, have your game down tight, regulation-wise, legal-wise, and just let this slide. This is a beef between California and the porn industry. The porn industry is already not a big moneymaker like it used to be, so at this point it just becomes a nuisance. When it was generating tons of tax revenue, they could look the other way. Sex positive, all that, look the other way. Nowadays, there's a little bit of a reaction against all the porn stuff, and James Dean's a scumbag, allegedly, and they're not so much wanting their San Fernando Valley to be the worldwide hub of porn production. Let that shit go somewhere else and not make money and cause a big headache. California's not about to come down on MMA over some nonsense. I mean, there's some logic to his argument. Yeah, bodily fluids are being exchanged, being put on people, and cage fighting does have a certain stigma against it, a different but similar stigma like porn does. It's a human behavior that some humans really like and some humans are deeply conflicted about. So
the fluids.
Yes, I would just
copious fluids.
Stay the hell out of it. If it really becomes a big deal, I would push the James Deen as a rapist story around and see if you can't get that going again, and talk to the folks at the regulators. But let this one lie.
What do you think, Eugene?
Yeah, this is. I mean, come on. You ever see that? Was that Dave Chappelle as a black president, where he's at the press conference and he gets in an uncomfortable situation and he throws the water one way and runs the other way. It's like, I mean, let me explain to you how it works if you're a male porn star. And I'm basing this on my friendships at Red Light District with Eric Everhart, Brandon Irons, and Vince Voyeur. These guys these guys are like ISIS, right? Independent contract employees, and Mr. Marcus as well. And they sit at home, and a producer says, get me a Mr. Marcus type. And he said, well, we actually got Marcus, but this is before the syphilis thing. See what Marcus is doing. Marcus, can you film a scene in Venice at 2 o'clock? He says, yeah, either call my agent or yeah, how much? And they'll go, we'll give you $350 for the first hour, $200 per hour after that. So given the gonzo porn, it's not going by the hour, so that's $350. He goes to Venice, he bangs somebody in a room, he signs some papers, he leaves. And this shit ends up on YouPorn or xvideos.com or on some Republican congressman's fucking Facebook page. And I mean, like Kid Nate had it correct, man. These guys have no more cachet. Steve Hirsch over at Vivid Videos, these guys are only existing because they're still selling in the hotels anymore. If you think what happened as a musician, what happened to the music business was a tragedy, porn is fucking dead, man. These women in porn used to be able to make $1,500 a scene, $2,000 for anal. They're making $750 an hour. They can legitimately make, if you've even made one porn movie, you can legitimately make fucking more money as a prostitute, and you work less hard. You have one customer per hour. The guy's probably over in about 5 minutes. Don't believe me? Go to bodymiracle.com. Everybody knows all you got to do is you get your computer, you go to bodymiracle.com, and you can have sex with a porn star. Everybody knows that.
Are you plugging porn sites?
No. As far as I know, it's no longer in business. No, it's not a porn site.
Well, now they will be. It's like,
This brings up my curveball. You're a now former Amazon executive or Microsoft executive, and you've just been arrested and publicly outed to posting dozens of reviews of escorts on some escort review site. What do you do? How do you save your career and your reputation?
Well, I'm going to have to say that it's Eddie Murphy's thing. You remember this? Where he's talking about getting busted cheating, and then he says, look, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. This dovetails with a woman who I know walks in, and her boyfriend is having sex with somebody. She screams, freaks out, runs out of the house. She comes back a few hours later, says, what happened? He successfully convinces her that he was watching pornography on their big screen TV, and she got confused.
That's how good this big screen and high def and the surround sound is, baby. And I built it for you. I built this system for you.
It worked. It fucking worked.
And you know, this one had a special 3D projection, which made it seem as if it was me right here in color, live and in public, if you will.
Yep.
And
So,
you need to get it
porno
to
person.
so
Technology.
the thing is, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't.
But these are criminal charges, and these are IP addresses and records and
Is the guy? I'm sorry. Is the guy married?
I believe some of them may be. They didn't go into that in the news stories I read.
He's got to go down, man. It's like, you remember that time when the FBI got all these mafia guys and couldn't get them to talk. They were being fucking tough. And they said, well, okay, the FBI, some guy at the FBI, obviously a married guy, hit on this. He's like, you know what? I'll tell you what. We're not going to bug you anymore. You can go back to your cell. We'll just take these phone records out to your wife and see if she's got any. And those fucking mafia guys all rolled over immediately. Did not want their wives perusing their fucking, fuck that, omerta my ass. I got to get out sometime. I don't need an angry woman, but I don't need it. So if I'm these guys, I'm denying it until the fucking jail cell locks. If I'm married, no fucking way. I'm going Bill Clinton 100% on this. Well, we got to dress, Bill.
I know I gave this escort 5 stars, but I never, ever, ever engaged in sexual relations with her. If you read the account closely, you'll see. Yeah.
I'm just trying to. I'm priming the pump for a business relationship between my company and independent operators. I'm not. It's all fan. It's just jokes.
Well, another thing too is, depending on the success level of this executive, they can always, there's always some company, if not here, domestically, then abroad, that just doesn't give a shit. It's just, in terms of his career, it's like he might not be a figurehead. He might not be a figurehead, but
I'm not thinking about career, man. I'm thinking about going home.
But if you want to go home, frequently you have to bring a paycheck with you.
Exactly.
I mean, not to be cynical, but I know my wife is kind of big on me being employed.
It makes it easier for me to get these other gigs if we keep it together.
Man, you know what?
Out of our children's pockets, baby.
I would really like to be a fly on the wall in the Spitzer household. In the, I could just
Anthony Weiner's house.
Anthony, I mean, God.
A fly on the wiener.
I mean, that's what the reason why these guys, the reason why these guys are not completely destroyed is because every single man in America is going, oh man, bourgeois moi. You might have had to tell your wife some uncomfortable things, but not with a fucking bay of microphones in front of you and cameras whirling beyond them, man.
Well, they make it better for us. They make it easier for us. We're like, look at that. Oh yeah, I forgot about the trash, but god damn.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I haven't dragged you in front of the press conference, and it's like, and enduring. I mean, the worst part about it is not that you lose the trust and that people, peg you as, an untrustworthy scumbag. The worst part about it is that the refrain from here on out, from Bill Clinton to Anthony Weiner to Elliot Spitzer, the refrain is to Sanford in South Carolina. How could you be so stupid? Yeah. You got to hear that shit for at least a decade. How could you be so fucking stupid?
And then also, again, just in public, just even if no one says anything to you, just the constant or the silent laugh.
Yep. Yeah.
A lifetime of that shit. That's a lifetime. I don't think it's 10 years. I think always someone's like, isn't that? It's not the America's Most Wanted. Is that? Oh shit.
And here's my weekly text. Yeah, Rhonda with food.
Haters.
Hey, he's a when Rhonda
In
sits
this
around
week's
the house,
segment, Rhonda with food.
sits around the house.
It's a salad. The woman is clearly eating a salad. That
Yeah.
looks light and healthy. The dressing's on the side. Come on, give the woman a break.
Hey, man,
Exactly.
I'm not fat shaming. I like fat people.
Well, then, you'd like this question then, Eugene.
Mm-hmm.
You're actor Wendell Pierce. According to TMZ, if you support Bernie Sanders while walking through the Lowe's Atlanta Hotel while you're around, you got to watch your back. Now, I beg your pardon, but they reported that you let a Sanders supporter feel your fists when you found out she was feeling the burn. All bunk, this talk of stringing her bell, according to your tweets. But is that all you can do to handle this shit before your career ends up way down in the hole?
Well, look, as a black actor, you have so little fucking flex room for fuck ups. Like, there's no Mel Gibson in the black actor community. Yeah, no. Think about that guy. What's his dude's name? Washington on that TV show.
Isaiah Washington.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever happened to that guy? And he called somebody the F word, you know. So what happened? What happened?
He doubled down also. That was the thing too. He doubled down.
You know. So there's no. Or what about Yaphet Kotto, one of my favorite actors, whose S&M scene in France got a little out of hand, where he tied the woman up and left the room and went down to the local pub to watch a game. And 6 hours later, she was understandably peeved, had gotten the mouthpiece loose, and had called hotel security and claimed that he had, sex fun and games are okay, but not through 6 hours of a soccer game when you're in the pub getting drunk. So, what would Donald Trump say? My supporters are very passionate. They're very passionate. There's a lot of passion out there. So that's, where dude is. I mean, what does he do at this point? He's done it, man. And the one thing, you get a certain buy if it's dudes fighting dudes.
Right.
Shia LaBeouf, fucking, what's it, Brolin? James, what's the kid's name? Brolin. What's the
Josh
kid's
Brolin.
Yeah, see, I remember his father. So Josh Brolin, Vince Vaughn, he gives him a little bad boy, cachet. Fucking black dude fight. Okay, fine. But then he's beating up abroad, or somehow it turns out she was trying to break up the fight, and then he probably pushed out. Who knows? But this is a bad look. I mean, it's interesting to see that this is like probably the only guy in America who's that passionate about Hillary. He needs an ambassadorship, as far as I'm concerned, because I don't see her generating any kind of passion like that anywhere else.
I'm sure she'll hook him up with the ambassadorship to Somalia or Rwanda, no problem. Any number of failed African states that need an ambassador. Wendell, thank you so much for your service.
Because you're not working again in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Woody Allen could work until the wheels drop off, but you, sir, you need to go home and think about your life, like Coach Dream Crusher says.
Yeah, I mean, every time some executive reads about how great The Wire was, he's already close to being blacklisted. Like, people are sick of hearing about how great The Wire was and socially responsible this and blah blah blah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think there's resentment. I mean, at least that's what I heard. Not that I have any great sources in Hollywood, but The Wire, as awesome as it is, and for me, it's easily the best thing that was ever on television. Easily.
No.
It is not cooped the rewards and respect that you would think that it should have. And dude screwed up bad. I mean, brawling in a hotel at 4 a.m. to the point you get arrested, like he said, with women. I mean, you got people like Van Jones going on CNN, and when they're talking about the Nevada caucuses and all the ruckus and death threats from Bernie supporters, and he's got the only person arrested for campaign violence on the Democratic side is Wendell Pierce.
We'll bookmark the.
We got to bring that. But at the point when you're being dragged into CNN as a distraction from other shit going on, you screwed up bad. And
he just played Clarence Thomas, so I would say that, you know what?
Did he say it was an electronic lynching? Is that what he said?
Well, yeah. Well, what can happen is he can say, you know what? I never really got rid of that character, and also the scarring of the atrocities that were occurring in Baltimore. By use of politicians, but I lost myself I lost myself.
That would be craven and completely fucking cool in my mind. You know, to just go that way.
I'm a method actor, goddammit, and I was doing a piece on black violence, issues with men and women, all right? And so I just got too deep in my research, and I just lost it, okay? I'm sorry.
But, you know, America has a special place in its heart for the creative acrobatic liar, you know? I mean, you can't tell me you didn't.
We gave Anthony Weiner a second chance. Like
no, but he wasn't nearly as graceful.
We did.
No, we did, but he wasn't as great. It wasn't like that kind of Nadia Comaneci moment that you got when Bill Clinton got up there and was like, well, that depends on what your definition of is. I dropped my fork and I was like, I fucking love this guy. This was like A-level pro handbook fucking bullshit, man. It was like when the Blue Angels do those fucking maneuvers or like the Matrix where the guy's like, whoa, and then they go, we got the dress. And he goes, okay. Okay. And what I was surprised about is that, again, this is the difference between pros and amateurs. They tell me they got the dress. I double down. I attack the dress. I say, you know, what kind of, who saves a semen-laden dress, and who says it's my semen? I got a very common semen. You mentioned semen so many times that people start, like the O.J. Simpson trial, people go, hey, you know, if the semen don't fit, you must have quit. You know, and then maybe people move on. But he did the smart thing. I said, an amateur would have done the super thing. And at that point, he was like, cut his losses, boom. You know what? I'm all about forgiveness. Or like Dave Chappelle said, it's like, you know, rehab is like home base, like in tag. Guy made it to base, rehab, boom. You know, fuck it. But you know, this is a tempest in a teapot because, you know, we had the primaries yesterday, and hair's breadth in Kentucky. And if you want, I don't care what kind of tweets the Clinton campaign sends out about how they, you know, this is completely and totally on them. Snatching defeat from the jaws of fucking victory. I could take a homeless guy who hangs out here in the breezeway and probably get him to run a better campaign. I mean, the latest kerfuffle was like about Bill's place in the new administration. Well, he knows a lot about economic theory. Oh, headline scream, he's going to be for economic event. And then she doubles out, oh, God, actually, he's not going to be. What? Come on.
Yeah, own your shit.
Yep.
Unforced error.
Shit. Nate, you're the IOCC. New testing of 2008 Olympic athletes has uncovered 31 new positive tests from 12 countries, including Russia. Russia has already been found to have been running a national drug test evasion program. Do you ban Putin's people from the Rio Olympics?
This is risky stuff. I mean, they just had the Olympics in Russia. I think everybody agreed it was a fiasco. The Brazilian Olympics, however, are shaping up to be a giant fiasco. Where are they going next? People are sick of the IOCC. People are sick of FIFA. They're not buying the whole, oh, it'll be great to bring the Olympics to our city anymore. Every time now you get first world cities that announce they're in the running for the Olympics, and a big bunch of their citizens say, no thanks, we do not want this shit in our town. Yeah. My advice would be, let sleeping dogs lie, put some warnings on Russia, put some sanctions on Russia, but do not escalate this. Do not make it worse than it is. You're running a house of cards. Don't be rocking the boat. Just keep things slow and steady. I hope you ride through this. A little kerfuffle here, a little coup there, major malfeasance over there, a bribery scandal over there. Just keep on trucking, focus on 2024. I mean, keep going down the road. I would not block Russia from the Olympics.
Well, there's even a bigger issue, right? The bigger issue is that, you know, and I heard on the radio this morning, and I had already read this, so I was like kind of disturbed by it, is that the FBI is investigating? Hold on a second. And now, dude, Putin is like, or at least the Russians are like, the fucking FBI has not any jurisdiction in this thing at all. You know,
ask Kim.com about that. They went to New Zealand.
Yeah. Well, he had to prove that there was money somehow moving through America, somehow that there was some national interest. So it's I mean, what is that thing? You're not cheating if you're not trying. That they would cheat. Look, come on. I mean, what are we talking about? No, I mean seriously, what are you one of those rare few that are watching the Olympics and going, my God, this is a wonderful example of what natural athletes can do. Is anybody saying that?
It's the beauty of amateur sportsmanship.
Yeah, I mean these, amateur, like when Magic Johnson was on the Olympic basketball team. Come on, man, come on, just stop it, whatever,
Well, the whole reason for the amateur charade in the first place was to keep riffraff out of the Olympics and keep it an upper class thing. So screw all that. Yeah, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Here's hats off to Putin for running a solid program and trying to help his people win. That's what
but it's never. I mean, Russia from the Soviets has never fucking changed. Why would you, why would you change? Well, why would you fucking change? Why?
Well, something that has changed is our teachable moment this week. Eugene, your Democratic presidential hopeful, Bernie Sanders. According to the AP, Nevada's Democratic Party on Monday, quote, warned the Democratic National Committee that your supporters have a, quote, penchant for violence and may seek to disrupt the party's national convention in July, as they did during the Nevada convention Saturday, end quote. What PR moves do you make in wake of this Trumpification of your campaign?
The Nazis had a wonderful phrase for this.
The long overdue, where have they been, Nazis?
Yeah, right. And at one point, back when I think, back before Hitler had ascended to power, people were complaining about the copious riots in the streets, and the phrase had come up, freedom of the streets. Which I really liked, because if you listen to it, freedom of the streets, it sounds like there's something that might happen at a Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. Freedom of the streets. But in actual fact, it meant people were getting their head kicked in and their teeth knocked out when they're trying to march with flags down the streets in Berlin. So if I'm Bernie Sanders at this point, and this is a kind of uncomfortable comparison to make, if it doesn't feel uncomfortable already.
Oh, no, I see where you're headed, please.
Bernie Sanders, okay, let's switch modalities. Let's take it out of National Socialism and let's take it straight to 1940s Chicago. If I'm Bernie Sanders, I was like, my supporters, they feel a lot of passion. Next question. I mean, first of all, you can't be responsible for every. Look, there is a passion gap. We all fucking know that. And what they keep saying, they keep pushing this line that Hillary is 100 delegates away. She's it's not fait accompli in my mind at all that she's going to win California. I'm in California, and I can tell you it's not fait accompli. San Francisco, I mean, major metropolises are going to fucking break for Bernie. I'm not fucking kidding at all. San Francisco, Oakland, Los Angeles, they're not thinking Hillary. If you're in LA and you're thinking Hillary, I guarantee you make a lot of money. So it is competitive, and people, if I'm on the Hillary campaign, what I'm very specifically thinking of is how to keep these people in the fold, because there are only two ways. There are only two ways. I don't care what they tell themselves. I don't care if they need to talk to people outside their bubble, but there are two ways, and I'm going to give you the names right now. Warren or Sanders. That's it. All these other possible picks for VP, for the Democratic ticket, nobody else. Nobody. It's Warren or Sanders. Hickenlooper, fucking Tim Kaine, get the fuck out of here. No. You got, it's like Mel Gibson quote him again from Mad Max. You guys want to get out of here, you go through me. So Sanders, they're going to keep it up. It's going to be a noisy Democratic convention, and it is neither his obligation nor wise political maneuver on his part to deal with that shit at all. He's focused on the future. It's like, what are you going to complain to him that there's not enough toilet paper in the bathroom? Not my business.
Yeah. I got a bone to pick with you, Bernie.
Exactly. Yeah.
It wasn't aloe or soft. So going ahead, Nate, what do you
Well,
what do
I
you
think
think?
Bernie did what he needed to do. He disavowed the violence. He denounced the violence. He's not responsible for the actions of every possible supporter, nor is he responsible for, say, right-wing rat fuckers who pretend to be Sanders supporters and jump on this, or,
Ah, nice. So you can
yeah,
tell that guy's a PR professional.
yeah. And like Van Jones says, the only person arrested for violence on the Democratic side of this campaign was a Clinton supporter, the aforementioned Mr. Pierce from the show Wire. I don't think Bernie needs to be that worried, but Clinton has a serious problem. And this habit of going after Sanders supporters, it's like a mindset in the Democratic oligarchy. They tolerate these dirty hippies that cause trouble when they come out and vote for the president. The rest of the time, they want them as far away from the party as they can get them. And I think the Clinton campaign saw the polling with Trump and saw the dissension in the Republican Party and thought, we can get these Bush Republicans on our side. We can get all the rich people in the country on our side. Fuck the hippies. Screw the hippies. Get out of here, hippies. You hippies are troublemaking, death-threatening. Get, ooh, so scary, bad hippies. And they're threatening more action at the National Convention in Cleveland. Having riots at your convention is never a good look. If you're having police riots at your convention, that's even worse. Clinton's going to need all these people to vote for her in the fall if she wants to beat Trump. If she wants to go after Sanders, go after Tad Devine. This cat, Sanders' consultant, is grifting, straight up grifting these supporters by running these TV ads in states where they have no chance. You might as well take that money and throw it on a big fire. And why is he doing that? Because Democratic campaigns still let consultants run on a commission basis. So he takes 10, 15% of every dollar that's spent on TV, goes right into Tad's pocket. And if they want to actually have some effect on Sanders voters, put a wedge between Bernie's corrupt consultants and his active, passionate, excited supporters. That's what they ought to be doing, not attacking the supporters. This is at least 40% of your party, and you're going to be all, these are racist Bernie bros, these are violent thugs. I mean, stop it. Stop it with the running against voters. Even with the Trump voters, as racist and violent as they demonstrably are, they also have some real grievances, and there's plenty of people voting for Trump that are not racist. Let's ask our friend Azalea Banks. There's lots of people who just said, fuck the system, I'm pissed off, I want a job, I want, quit outsourcing jobs, give me some money, fuck you people, you suck. Like, that's not necessarily racist. Quit going after voters. Go after Trump, go after Sanders, go after Sanders consultants, stop going after voters.
Well, the line that I use is drawn from fucking Spinal Tap. Do I have to come right out and say it? Give me some money. Fuck it. There you go.
Man. Brings us to Eugene's Lost Battalion.
Oh, chock full, baby.
There was a great, the knuckle up from this week. Great analysis of the effects, the one-time escape possibility for heavyweights in the wake of UFC 198. It's just a master class on the Lost Battalion and something revolutionary that happened.
Yeah.
So
I mean, this is the like I said, Gordon Moore had this thing of every couple of years that you could double down on the integrated circuit, and you can fit more space on the the chip thing. Yeah, Intel chips. I don't know.
It's twice as fast and costs half as much.
Right. So, but eventually he's gonna hit a wall, right? You can't get any smaller, can't get any more powerful. I mean, so there are exceptions to every rule, but we just had a stunning example in this fucking Miocic Verdum thing of like how Providence can turn on. Providence can have you invade fucking Poland, violate the Treaty of Versailles, rearm the Rhineland, and nobody says a thing. Nobody says a thing. In one fell swoop, Miocic has created a pathway through the mist. So now guys who were dead are coming. It's like the monkey's paw are back alive again.
The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead. But however, on the other side, you can see entire. I mean, man, it doesn't apply across the board. It's not categorical. So, I mean, if you thought Chris Weidman was in the Lost Battalion before, he now has built a little lean-to next to the wood pile. He's there with a match, trying to start a fire. The wind keeps blowing it out. He's hearing voices. He's running off. He's like in the cartoons, drinking, water, and it turns out to be sand. He's gone. You know who else is gone? King Mo, fucking gone, man. He's almost a known associate. I was at that Bellator fight, and I had told everybody before he's going to lose. Because, oh, no, he's going to win. I only had one nut jumper, one commenter who came out in this guy's defense. Oh, he won that fight, and this guy was clearly just a fucking troll. It's like lost twice against Emmanuel Newton. Going up against a UFC guy was supposed to be his moment of like, see, Bellator is fucking cross-competitive. See, I could have, after that back and forth with Rampage, I could have kicked his ass. If I was in the UFC, I could be converting for, nah, son. Nah, you King of the Cage, Gladiators Challenge, impressive local draw, but that shit is done. It's done. And moreover, it leaves Bellator in a weird place. I'm predicting that somehow the bald one is going to snook away McGreary, because that guy has got a certain element of it to him. So Weidman is leading the charge. King Mo is there. And I think moreover, what happened with the Bellator thing, where it seemed like it'd be a credible two-step. Oh, I can go and I can make all this money and I can make a sponsorship money. And then you look around and you see your shit sitting next to you on the bench is in the mist is Ben Henderson. Hey Ben, what are you doing here? Well, I'm gonna have a grappling match against Jake Shields coming up. Yeah, no. I mean, the thing is, when you get a guy who is older and he's in the fucking Lost Battalion, it doesn't feel that bad, because he could just lay down and figuratively die, right? By which I mean retire, wait for the Hall of Fame to come calling, and he's fine. It hurts when the guy is in his 20s. Because that's a lot of living left over that you got. You got at least 3 times that to figure out what to do with your fucking time. It's a tough way to go and a tough place to be, man. And when I say shit like that, I'm looking over at a guy like Patrick Cummins. How does it feel? Yeah, you did them a solid, like step in the last minute, fighting an old training partner in DC. You helped them out, but bro, how's it feel? Like Bob Dylan said, So there. I mean, I could go down the list. If I had my list with me, I could go down the list. And strangely enough, there are guys like Vitor Belfort, who people have largely suspected has been Lost Battalion for a while, who could take this as a moment to say, he sat up from the ground where he's laying in the Lost Battalion and go, oh, hey, by the way, I'm retiring, and he goes back to sleep. That's perfect. That's perfect. Just do it. But instead, they're talking about the next fight, and God is looking on, and God's doing like this. Nah, son, there's no next fight. There's no next. Don't you know where you are? You're in the misty jungle, baby. You're gonna die. So there. I mean, Shogun. Yeah, Shogun won the fight, man. But that was luck that he won that fight. I picked him to win, but I didn't think, So I mean, what he should do: head up from the mist. Go, oh, hey, you guys, I retired. See you, and back. I
mean, you think that people would be inspired? Not that he was in the Lost Battalion at all, but you think people would be inspired by GSP and like, whoo, that was a close one. I'm retired. But it's not. People are like, I still got it, baby.
Yeah, and that's what qualifies you first and foremost. We get you right up there in the fucking Lost Battalion. You know what? There are a lot of guys. You know what these guys say who end up in the Darwin Awards or in the hospital? They are most reported as having said shit like this. Hey, watch this.
Exactly. And speaking of the Rednecks' last words, I got a nominee for the Lost Battalion, former Texas Governor Rick Perry, the guy who called Trump a cancer on conservatism, runs out and immediately endorses him. It's like, I don't know how many pain pills Rick Perry has taken these days for his terrible back pain, but other people have memories, dude, even if you don't. Like, cut it out. You can only flip flop so many times.
Nah, to me again, that's that Matrix thing. I love this dude trying to stay relevant. I expect he tried the glasses. These make me look smarter, don't they? Yeah, much like Goldberg with his glasses, which precipitated me doing the glasses and the pipe on Knuckle Up because I'm trying to look smarter. You know, I mean, no. The guy who I'm looking at right now, I'm shocked we haven't mentioned it. You know, Sweet Home, Alabama. Man, oh man, oh man. The state attorney general, the governor's sex scandal. That thing it's like a helicopter throwing itself apart. And they, after they change all these ethics laws, then they violate the ethics laws. They change to drum the Democrats out of office. That entire fucking state has been lost battalion. If you want to go off the fight reservation, done. They're done, and they don't even know it. I mean, fuck, man, you were Alabama to begin with. Where are you now? Nowhere. Yes. I suggest you talk to the guy by the woodpile. That's if you can find him. He's over here somewhere,
Well, on that happy, positive note, whole state plunged in the depths of the Lost Battalion. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, no, that's not depressing, man. I mean, if you're in Alabama, I know I have friends in Alabama, man, they hate the government, so it's like perfect, Just fucking stay out. I'm glad it is to laugh. The governor the governor is getting sexy with his aide, and we got the fucking calls and the texts and the tweets and we're better than South Carolina, baby. Yeah, it's a telenovela of the highest order. I mean, look, he could have been Larry Craig,
Oh, yeah, that's true. Man. So it is a positive ending.
That's what I'm saying. It's a happy ending,
So, with your wide stance, follow us on Twitter at Eugene S. Robinson, at Kid Nate, at Alexiol. Please give us a thumbs up.
Ba-bing. Ba-bing, ba-bing, ba-bing.
No foot taps, please.
No, he actually got the hand under. This was a big deal about when he put his hand under. Did he put his hand under like this, or did he put his hand under like this?
Just want some toilet paper.
Yeah, that's what the guy, if he was doing his Matrix like escape, he goes, I was asking for toilet paper, I dropped my phone, I mean, any man who's been in a men's room knows your conversation with anybody else in that room has got to be limited, even if he's a bro.
And leave comments about that if you'd like on YouTube. Subscribe to MMANation.com on YouTube and MMA Nation on iTunes. Visit Bloody Elbow. Read Eugene at Ozzy.com.
My sex com's up today.
Oh, there we go.
Sex with Eugene.
There we go. And check out the three of us on Amazon.com separately, unfortunately. And we'll be back next week with another edition of If I Did It. And we don't know what we're going to be talking about because the PR kerfuffles have yet to be made.